Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so when I did the State of the Collection video, this was a watch that didn't make it into the video, so I thought I'd make a short video just about this watch. Now, this is a grandfather watch. This was my maternal grandfather's watch, and it's the watch that saw him to the end of his life. I think he started out with the Hamilton, moved on to the Wedgfield. When I got the Wedgfield, I had problems. Those were probably the same problems he experienced. That probably put him onto this, and judging by the style of it, I think he got it in the 70s, and I think this is what he wore until he died. And when I got it, it was working, so that kind of makes sense. It was running fast, but it was running, and I was advised not to service it, and so I kept it as is, but then it ended up stopping working, all right? It stopped working, and so I, after all, did have to service it. And it's been to and from Japan and the States quite a few times. All right, so my mother brought it when I was living in Fukuoka, and I held on to it. I took it back to the States when I was there and asked about servicing it. They told me it's running, so even though it's running fast, you really just should leave it as is. So I took it back to Japan. Then it stopped working. I sent it back to the States. My mother found a gentleman in Florida who used to work for Timex, and an old-timer that kind of does watch repair for fun more than anything. He fixed it. My mother sent it back to me. Had some issues with some lint on the dial, and it was 10 minutes fast, so I sent it back to her. She sent it back to the old-timer in Florida. He regulated it, used an air blower, and I guess cleaned it off, and sent it back to her, and then she brought it the last time during the summer when she was here, and here it is. So it's running about a minute fast, and a little fast. I think it could have been done better, but you know, this old-timer in Florida just pretty much does it for fun. And who knows, maybe he doesn't even have a timographer, and yeah, can't quite expect Rolex accuracy with a watch like this. Anyway, I will say that when I was here and I first got it when I was living in Fukuoka, I tried to find somebody to service it, but I was turned away. Some people said it had a component movement and they couldn't, which is not true. It might have a component movement, but you can still service it. The guy in Florida did. I think that they recognized it as an essentially a worthless watch, and I don't think they thought it was really worth their time. And what is their time worth? Probably about $300 to get a watch regulated and serviced and whatnot. And I think that they thought that getting a price, a bill for $300, I might freak out and say, well, it's not even worth $300. And so they thought, you know, it's more trouble than it's worth, so let's just say it can't be done. And I got a lot of that when I took it to different places in Fukuoka. I think essentially they just didn't want to fool with it. And who knows? I mean, if you have a watch repair business and you've got a long line of really respectable and nice timepieces, you might just not really want to waste your time with this. But obviously it's sentimental value to me, so I did want to find somebody to work on it, and so I am thankful for the guy in Florida for working on it. All right, so as you can see, it's got a day and a date and a one-position crown. So how do you set it? Well, it's a time-consuming process, but the date switches over when it hits about 11 o'clock, so watch. There we go. All right, and then if you keep advancing it, the day switches over. So first of all, you have to get the date all set. All right, so you go back. It goes back to Thursday. You have to come back to about 6 or 5 o'clock or so. and then once it hits 11, 23. So you have to keep doing that. It's a time-consuming ordeal, but that's how you do it if it's just got, you know, a day and a date in one crown position, at least on this watch. All right, so I'm not gonna, let's get it to 29, and then I'll show you what I do. All right, so it's the 30th here, Friday the 30th. All right, so 30th, and then about midnight it switches over, and it's Friday, so Friday the 30th, noon. And right now, just before 9 o'clock. So, what was that? By the way, this watch is still dead on. The Bluesy is about 2 seconds slow. They were totally lined up, exactly identical yesterday in the Bluesies. Looks like it's losing about 2 seconds, but I didn't wind it, so that could be an issue. That could have been the reason. Anyway, so it is exactly 54 past the hour, so we'll... That's good enough. Okay. All right. So the thing about this is when you snap down the crown, when you push it in, check out that minute hand. It kind of moves. So it's really hard to get the minute hand and the second hand all lined up. But there it is. And, you know, it's an automatic movement. So as you wear it, it winds. And you can also wind it as well. Kind of a interesting 70s style. And kind of a 70s looking case as well. And this is a, I guess this would be some sort of plasticky, rubbery type thing, strap. And yeah, it's comfortable, but yeah, I kind of would like to change it, but this is sort of part of the whole grandfather package. This is what he wore, so I'm not going to change it. I mean, it works fine, and this is how it was born. So there you go, the grandfather Timex. And yeah, I probably won't be wearing it, but we'll see what kind of accuracy it has. We'll see if it's still a minute fast or if it's settled down a bit. And we'll just see how it does in the next few days. Anyway, the grandfather Timex. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.